according to Streamlabs, at least someone's listening to me, me singing to myself. It's a quick lunch, I'm back. And I kind of was, my brain was taken up with thinking of what I was saying. So I don't really have a plan, a thing that I'm pushing for right here. Like I'm considering declaring war on these guys, and certainly that's, yeah, I think that's the right next thing to do. Does it take 2 turns? No, I'm just taking my turns very slowly. Let's go to the next turn. Oh no, I got no viewers. I can stick to myself. So it begs the question, how did I ever find you here drifting gently through the gyre of the great Sargasso Sea, Atlantic Ocean? Oh, Lewis. I mean, I'm glad to have you here, but issue number one is you've proved that my stream counter is not accurate, and issue number 2 is that means that someone has heard me singing. Have you played much Total Warhammer? Do you know what's going on in it? Oh, thanks. Thanks. That's a lovely 2-part song that my partner and I were singing with each other this morning. I set up, I currently have a laptop that a colleague lent me with a VR headset because I want to do some data visualization in VR, and I've done none of that despite having this thing for months. And instead I've been playing a little bit of games on it, not very much. But I set it up really well to play Beat Saber, which I'm kind of loving, and we tried last night playing along with an acoustic guitar and singing along with it, but it's kind of a bit too much at once. But yeah, it put us in the mood for creating a bit of music. I was going to ask if you have any idea what the Sword of Cain is or does, because I don't really. Let's just go and... Don't worry about it, guys. Everything's fine. Do I want... No, I think I want epoch arrows as well. Do I want any other things while I'm here? It's a weird army composition I have at the moment with, like... Well, it kind of makes sense. I have just about enough infantry to defend my range thing, and then I have a big cavalry. I don't know if you were here when I was going on a long talk earlier about quality at games, but Total War is one of those games that is hardest to be good at. It's just got so many systems. I have played hundreds of hours. I probably am quite good at it as far as things go, but there's still some really basic stuff I don't understand. And I will still occasionally wade into a battle and have my arse completely handed to me. My priority here is probably growing the settlement. But also making it more defensible, so what's going to best do that? I think, although it won't make me much money, maybe I'll go for that for the moment. Britonia has quite strongly, each building serves one serves one purpose, like, and not many. Like a lot of factions, buildings will often unlock recruitment and add to garrisons and produce money, and that's fine, but it means that every building is kind of a jack of all trades, whereas Britonia quite clearly here, very few buildings add to the garrison, but the building that specifically does add to the garrison adds to it a lot. That doesn't do anything about the fact that my people are unhappy though. So which is more important? If I actually build more... Oh, now I can't build anything. It's more important I build something first, so let's get rid of this. Let's do this. It's the kind of sensible pre-planning that I never do and should do more. Sun pours down like honey. I've just, it being Christmas and New Year, spent a bunch of time with my dad, and he's a big kind of, will slip into singing or humming to himself, which I think is a good habit. It's a nice thing to do. But it means I'll probably do it quite a bit. And we have pretty similar music taste, so there's a lot of overlap in what I and he will slip into. Ooh, that's good news. That's completely arbitrary. One really annoying thing that happens in these games is that these Gulf Raiders will just hang about on the edge of your lands for ages, and they often don't do anything. Or, let's turn that phrase around. They rarely do anything, but they move every turn, and they give you a little bit of like fear in your heart. You're like, oh my god, what if this is the turn when they suddenly decide that they cannot abide me?
She speaks, I listen. Your words.
Right. How... This is... Oh. This is a high-level city. But apart from the tomb guards and the city itself, it's not hugely defended. It doesn't, I believe, have walls. I'm going to try it. This is immediately going to tell me that, no, we are actually pretty evenly matched. That's good news. So, it probably is good for the game that they added this feature in Total Warhammers, where it takes time for the enemy to start suffering attrition. Like, it makes sense. They probably would have some food stocked. It's really annoying for me, though. So I gain nothing by hanging around, so I may as well jump in to this battle.
Have heart. The lady guides us.
Let's see what happens. Got my cup of tea. Great. So we have choke points, which are an example of something that, even though these choke points have been given to the AI, humans make much better use of than the AI in general. The AI in these games honestly has been better than it is now at points in the past where it was great at open field battles. That a lot of the changes that would happen to it, the AI system, over like for the last decade or so. I should be careful. I'm speaking from a place of semi lack of knowledge, but for the last decade or so, the engine hasn't improved that much in the general, like what happens in a battle. Instead, most of the improvement has been on more specific edge cases, like Um, do I want to split these guys? I probably want to split these guys. Like what happens on a battle with a couple of choke points. Let's pull you guys out over this side. 3 and something in my computer. It's not very bad, but it keeps skipping a frame or two. I'd like to work out what it is. I've been trying to diagnose how to make my computer better for a while, and I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, let's move up. Okay, that's the main army over there, which means that this is a relatively small army here. After all that, we're going to bring these guys over and have you guys like this, and I'm going to try and take on the left-hand side with cavalry. In fact, let's just bring basically all my cavalry. I want to charge with these guys first because they basically have... It'll use up the enemy's charge bonus. This isn't perfect use of my foot squires, but it's a pretty good excuse to use them like that. Let's use one of these as soon as possible, because that's quite a lot. So some units are already broken by the look of it. These guys are suffering, and you can get straight in on the archers. I think this has gone pretty well. I can now focus on the skeleton bowmen, probably. Their binding's weak. Most of them are alive, but their binding is weak, so that's enough of a good start. So it's going excellently, and eventually I can get my heroes on these guys. Trebuchets pick some pretty arbitrary things to go after sometimes. And it's not ideal that that's what they've chosen, but I'm going to pull out my everyone but the hero from here. Basically trust you on your own. You, the smaller army, can go after that. And I'm going to cycle charge these guys. So my infantry aren't having the best time here, but they're doing pretty well. I am going to bring you around here, even though you would be good to charge into the back. I would rather getting rid of those archers, because let's again pull everyone else out. No, don't do that. Pull everyone but you out. Now we start cycle charging these guys. You probably have your power again. You do. I'm not sure I need to put these guys back in. I'm going to bring them out here and put them on cycle charge duty. You can come help fight them. Yeah, sure guys, just charge straight through my own forces. No, it's cool. So with these guys coming in, I actually might pull her over just so we get the effect of her aura. Also, that person's basically gone. Everyone's basically gone. We won the battle. What's going on with you guys? You've been cursed. Bad scene. Solid. That worked really well splitting them up, because basically all those troops on the left, my left, were exactly the kind of ones which would be getting around, getting behind, getting into my past my infantry lines and at my trebuchets, at my archers. But because they had that small amount of space, they were quite catchable there and quite holdable there, allowing my infantry, who are both just quite strong and really well supported by missile units, to deal with the majority of their troops, even if it wasn't the majority of their force.
The lady's burning justice. What
Whoa!
was theirs is ours.
That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. How much do I mind about losing the chivalry?
Take everything.
Do I need money?
Burn it. Burn it all.
I don't think I need this province yet, at least. So I could raise it, next turn I could explore it, and then eventually I could colonize it. But then also if I occupy it, I don't have to colonize it, which costs men. I'm confused. I'm just going to occupy it. Oh, cool. So it immediately armor piercing damage for infantry units. That seems good. Melee attack for infantry units. Yeah. Great. You've become level 10. You can get Foe Seeker. Why not?
I am ready.
So I have more peasants than I actually have in the field. I'm tempted to slightly increase the size of my infantry part of the army. I can upgrade this. I have already committed to doing that, so no need for money here. I think it was the right decision to not take that huge amount of money. Do you want to maybe... So, I'm not sure why the thing happened where these guys suddenly weren't my... I definitely remember confederating with them. I didn't play this game, I haven't played this game since before Christmas, but I'm pretty sure I confederated with them. Saved the game, left, and then I came back and they weren't that. And now it's really unlikely that they will confederate with me at any point. which stops me having the whole region, stops me having the unique building, probably means eventually I have to just declare war on them and take it. Altogether, non-ideal. So by the looks of it, Sudenburg is still here. Sudenburg being a kind of yeah, Benin-like European second wave colonization of West Africa. Who's more the bad guys, the Crusaders or the colonizers? That's a question I'm not going to answer. How much would recruiting another lord cost me? There's a foreign trespasser in my land from the Puppets of Chaos. That seems terrible. Income from raiding, plus 100%. Casualty replenish. I have more farms and industry. Casualty replenishment would be good though. Let's go with that. Where are these guys? Oh, they're in this rather than being kind of really in my homeland. I don't like that I can't see in my own territory. That I have little to no knowledge of what's going on even on my own borders. In fact, I have more knowledge of what's going on here because we trade with them along this coast. I guess kind of Morocco we've got here. It's probably fair to say that at the very best, the world of Warhammer is very reductive of cultures, if not actually quite problematic.
In the lady's name. She speaks, I listen.
Yeah, I would despair if my pool looked like that. Oh wow! Greybeard is not having a good time. Is it Greybeard? Yeah, Greybeard's Prospectors they're called. I like their flag a lot. Just got good colours. I would rather they weren't wiped out.
For Bretonnia, for the lady.
How strong do we think? This is another one, yet another weirdness. I can see the strength of everyone's armies, at least as a relevant. Ooh. Alright. Let's have a military alliance. Now that we have a military alliance. No. Given that we have a military alliance, does that mean I'm supposed to join your war?
Valiant Lord.
No. But you would probably think about it, particularly if you suffered another loss. Ah, look at this. You guys are kicking ass. If you were to
Lord of
join my confederation now, that would be perfect, because I take the Wizard's Caliph Palace. I'm pretty close to being at that point where I'm slightly boringly powerful, but still. Do I have like a long-term goal? Like a victory condition? My objectives are to attain 2000 chivalry. Or to destroy all these factions and have 50 provinces. Sometimes success in this game is just a lot of work. Unlike success in everything else. Okay, that's growing. Yeah, I think it's time for army number 2. What would I prefer? Honourable? Magnanimous? Melancholic? Heavens is not perfect. I quite like the idea of having a melancholic one. And I think... No, sorry, I think Heavens is good. I forget what they all are. It's which kind of magic they do, but I forget which is the best one. Let's have melancholic. You'll be a good raider. You... Wow, peasants are incredibly cheap. They cost no leadership. So, no upkeep. That's incredible. Right now, I could just send you to Fitzora Leonis. I have to go to Cobra Pass. Yeah, I might just send you there without an army. You'll also help people get... Well, you should help people get happier for a day. I can't recruit any heroes. I'm just trying to remember, is this a particular special person? Rather than... I think he might be specific to my leader. My reliability is very high, so that's cool. Not long until I have that. And then I'll build a happy making building, and everything will be good. You guys are delighted by that military presence. I'd rather make the money. So, Zephyl, I've just seen your comment. It's definitely true that the stream title right now is meaningless, but one of the reasons it's meaningless is because I kind of have no idea, like, what should a stream title be? I would definitely consider changing it, but like, it's still really unclear to me how you would go about bringing people into a stream. Like, people just seem to turn up by magic a lot. Built a town. Oh no! Oh, I've missed the opportunity to have Sartra's banner. Oh, but I've got a different way of having it. And it's to fight them for it. Yeah, alright, let's change it to something informative. Ish. What's the name of the like nation I'm playing? Chevaliers de Lyonesse. Which I'm pretty sure means Knights of the Lion. Okay, so I think I've changed it. Let me know if that does actually make it different. I'm using a app called Mob Crush, which sends everything I do to Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but it makes everything a bit more complicated. This is not great news going on here. Yeah, I just seen a thing about people showing up with sheer magic. It's a really difficult question, and it's not. This might be contentious, but it's not really Twitch's fault that it's not really helping the discovery of people like us, because one, it's just so hard to know the quality of a thing. It's so hard to know, does this stream have not many followers, not many viewers because it's not very good, or does it have it because it's really offensive? Does it not have it because it's actually not functional? I often see people, particularly people, get angry at like YouTube moderation and Twitter moderation, and I think that they may not understand the amount of volume of content on these things, such that any discoverability has to be done algorithmically, and that is a complex and almost always gameable system, and we are probably not gaming that system very well. There probably are ways to game it well. Sometimes, particularly if the game I'm playing is not listed in Twitch, I'll put it as Fortnite that I'm playing as a very very low-minded way to game that system a bit more. Alright, I'm now fighting against Tomb Kings. So, but I also have these, and the Tomb Kings are never going to like me, so let's get that. What do I want? I could have a Grail Shrine, which would eventually allow me to get damsels, and I would quite like to have some damsels. Oh, and I could get these. I love. They're really cool. They are a fake horse. Is this good for what I want? What I actually said I'd get next, and what is kind of my priority, is a happiness making building. So I'm going to do that first, and then we may well double back on that eventually. But yeah, I think about this a lot, like, how can you have good discoverability without it just descending into chaos? No pun intended. How can you help creators of worthwhile things find their audience whilst not giving too much platform to things that are at best not worthwhile and at worst harmful? I certainly don't have any solutions to this. The only thing that I would say that I've observed is that they won't join my confederation anymore. Is that I think this is undervalued as... Yeah, fair enough. Put it like, I think it is fair to put it on the individual. Like, certainly there's no better solution. But I think it's undervalued as a thing that we should think about, and it's often the cause of a lot of what we see as a negative effects of the internet. It's the story I often see told is that it's some group or some individual who's done something bad, and often there is malevolence or ignorance on one or both sides of the argument, but also it's just what happens when groups are basically cut off from each other, when they don't have a way to communicate, and they develop their own culture, which by the time they get large enough that they can be seen by other groups, has kind of gone quite strongly in a negative direction. I sometimes say to people who ask that really what I'm doing is a PhD in why I don't have more Twitter followers. And that's not entirely untrue. I don't particularly want more Twitter followers, a bit like I was saying earlier. I don't know if I want a successful stream. But the conditions of gaining an audience, having a platform, and not are in themselves fascinating and obviously very thought about by content creators and by influencers, but not necessarily very strongly in the academic discourse. So a lot of things that academics try not to weigh in on, coming out of the 20th century, where we saw overzealous academics basically weigh in on things that they shouldn't do. Eugenics is often one of the strongest examples of this. Hugely overstating how much we can and should be learning from these things. That's a lot of Tomb Kings. This is a problem. So it thinks I'm 50-50. Does it? I mean, they are basically all infantry. Let's try it. What do we think?
Now to battle for Bretonnia.
I also think that one of the biggest ways, and I hope I said it. By the way, thanks for hosting me. On this subject, one of the biggest ways that people can grow their audience is actually by making sure that they have cross-pollination, that they send people from one space to another, which is exactly what we kind of fear and dislike. We see a company like Walmart doing. They want to keep people in-house. They want everything you might want to buy. They want to make sure that they're selling it to you. What an incredible landscape. You never really know. I guess it's the border that I'm sitting on, so maybe it makes sense that it's like this, but how would I know that I was going to fight a battle like this? By the lady! Can you guys do, like, spear wall? No. That's one thing that I'd love to see more of in Total War games, actually feeling like you're picking your battlefields. So let's truly just use you guys as a catch-all. Orders, my lord! Spearman at arms! I've been thinking about this a lot over the last few days because I don't know if you know a YouTuber called ContraPoints. But she's someone who I've learned a lot from recently, and I value a lot as a as an insight in a world I wouldn't otherwise really know. And she put out a video a few days ago about the phenomenon of cancelling someone, of trying to kind of deplatform them by encouraging others to migrate away from them. Not actually doing anything directly against them, just... I just realised I haven't left any way to really use my cavalry here. This maybe is a mistake.
We are ready. What orders?
Repulse the Lyonnais!
You guys can actually just be in this group. And I have no idea if I'll actually get through with these guys, but let's just try and charge them through, get them through. I've already kind of lost track of the point that I was going to make about ContraPoints. Oh yeah, one thing that I was thinking watching her is that a lot of the community who has turned against her, and they've turned against her for reasons that are completely legitimate and coming from a place of their own personal hurt, but also potentially she has become more of a symbolic figure in their eyes than, I don't know. You guys should probably walk, because I think if you walk, you won't squish anybody. But a lot of people are angry at her for some things. Basically, she cast someone that a lot of people think is a negative figure in one of her recent videos to do a voice line, and the anger is all over the place. But one thing that's really fascinating that I see a lot in there is people accusing her of grifting, of doing it all for profit, of being kind of falsely falsely mercantilistic, I guess is one way of putting it. And then just thinking that that's not okay, that's not something that they can agree with. And it's clear, she features a lot of their comments, that some of them are angry because she has a platform and they don't, and they would be right to turn around and be like, well, she doesn't. Whether her content is good or not, it's not so good that she deserves a huge platform and I deserve none. There is a fascinating researcher who is one of the main proponents of a field called network science, one of the early adopters and one of the people to really explore it. First called Antonio Laszlo Barabasi. I might be getting that name wrong. If you Google network science, you'll find him relatively easily. He's written a wonderful textbook also called Network Science, which is freely available online. But he recently has been thinking about success and how and why people succeed. And one of his early observations is just that in all things, performance, how good someone is bounded. There's an upper limit on how good you can be. A really nice example of this that he uses is the fastest runner is fractions of a second faster than the next fastest runner, but even than the loser. The person who comes last in the Olympic 100 meters is not only running at an incredible pace, but running at a pace that they would beat. They would win 20 years earlier, although that's not really a fair thing. Not really a fair comparison. But this concept that the difference in the performance between the people who are best and the people who are, yeah, they're pretty good, is tiny. It's fractional. But the difference in how much they're achieving and how much recognition they're getting for what they're doing can be huge. There's no real limit on that. Like the amount you are learning from your... Okay, these guys are attacking me. The amount you are earning from being a very fast runner can vary from nothing at all to... I don't know. I don't suppose Usain Bolt can possibly be earning he may well be earning millions, but I'd be surprised if it's hugely more than that. Like, he probably has sponsorships and things like that earning a lot, but basically his reward for his quality is kind of, there's no upper limit on it. Whereas his quality, how fast he runs, is only fractionally faster than the fastest person. And this is what we're seeing in a different way when we say the very best streamers are very slightly better than many who get no recognition at all for it. Okay, I kind of want to get out of here. Let's do it. Are you going? Get out of here. Just run over those birds. They won't mind. Because this guy's a single target, I'm going to be a bit more brave of him than I would with everyone else. Also because the chariots are not very good at holding it. Yep, you totally need luck. But actually, there's a great another YouTuber I really enjoy. I get a lot from YouTube. I learn a lot from YouTube. It's often a place where I am forming my ideas. Called Tom Scott, who is he's been kind of making internet content from really early in the history of the internet. Like, he has claimed to be some of like the first real memes. And he has this series on what internet successes look like for him, and it includes observations like that a lot of his internet successes didn't turn into anything. That he would produce something that thousands, maybe millions of people talked about and enjoyed, and then it wouldn't turn into financial gain, it wouldn't turn into much growing of his audience. Even when people have those successes, they sometimes don't translate into a real permanent, meaningful gain. Oh, look at this. Love a bit of a kill box, basically. Okay, so everything's going okay. I'd like to kill those archers. I've got my camera stuck a bit. I've got on the mode where it doesn't let your camera go too far from where you are, which in theory is to stop you kind of going and spying on things that oh yeah, except for, oh god, in 300 where they were vastly outnumbered compared to here where it's a pretty fair fight in numbers, and then completely unfair in like me holding the choke point. So I guess in a way this is to slightly say that that luck, even that luck on its own, isn't really quite enough. That luck doesn't necessarily translate into future or long-term or financial success. There's so many conditions before it can all come together. But I do think I had a period a few years back where I got really down on thinking that there was just no reward for quality anymore, and I think in a lot of places that is true. And that was really difficult, particularly as someone who spends a lot of their time making things. I spend more of my time making scientific papers and writing things to explain science, but I just had this moment of like, oh, is it even worth it? Because good things don't feel like they're being rewarded. But eventually I started seeing it a different way. Like, I don't think the best things are rewarded. I don't think the response you get to something is particularly proportional to its quality. But the reward, although there's a huge amount of chance, it is slightly weighted by the quality of a thing. There is higher quality things do get more reward than lower quality things. And it takes a huge amount of luck to be discovered, and even if you're discovered, it doesn't necessarily mean something. It can all come and go. But given that all that luck is then modulated by actual quality, quality does have a place in there. Probably the place where it has least influence is exactly where I think the two of us are, which is when you have I'm about to say that you're not an audience. When you have basically no audience, where you have almost no discoverability, almost no like space for quality. How can quality shine through when, oh my god, don't die, don't die, don't die. Let's do the thing where you blow up. And let's get you in there, because why not? And like, yeah, you need to invest serious money, but even that, like, you need to invest time, and there's some talent involved. Like, there is aesthetic talent, but there's also like, I don't know, like I have a pretty okay computer, mostly because I have it for me enjoying using the computer more than I have it because of streaming. I think it is possible to do really well in this kind of thing without very high quality stuff, and it's also possible to have high quality equipment and not be producing stuff that's particularly good. In fact, I'd be more inclined to say that that's true of me than elsewise. I'm a big believer in the Dada, in the sort of inherent ludicrousness of creating things, and therefore that it's okay if things are weird and rough. But it means I produce some pretty low quality stuff sometimes, like Lewis, who I think is in chat right now, has occasionally tuned in on this to find it just an empty screen for hours on end. I really appreciate your continued coming back after so many examples of that, Lewis. God, this is just slaughter. Their hero is quite strong, but it is just repeatedly charging into them, really hammer and anvil stuff. The money component of quality is, I think, really difficult. That it is possible to pay more to be higher quality is really problematic. Do I want to do this? Speed and vigor? Yeah, alright. I think that I'm really losing this battle in a way that is not good news. Let's blind them. Can I get... Okay, you guys are doing okay. Some of you are running. I'm not feeling too confident here. I feel very close to victory, but I also feel like I could lose it. Maybe just a few more. I mean, actually, these guys are set out in such a way that I can just charge back and forth, side to side. Who are you fighting? Some skeleton spearmen. You guys have rallied, so I can come back and fight there. No, you keep fighting them. I just really need to break the spirit of everybody, which I'm close to doing, but also every charge does cost. I think there's a lot of things that
Yes, for the king.
aren't accessible for some people that will improve the quality of what you're doing. Like, it is, different people with different identities will have easier or harder access to an audience sometimes. Like, I have this weird thing of, I have this pretty significant platform. Oh, there we go. Through being a scientist, through having like published papers out in the world, through like I've been in the press a bit recently with some of my science. I'm at a major and very famous university that kind of brings with it a lot of impetus, but at the same time I'm terrified to use any of that because my world of science is almost exactly like, revealing that I'm a Twitch streamer probably couldn't tank my career, but it would lead some to be like, well, that's flippant behaviour. And the fact that I want to do this not just as a hobby but as a way to explore education, I think probably makes it even worse for making people feel like I'm a legitimate person. Like, I struggle with legitimacy the whole time because I have a different kind of interest and ideas than a lot of the people around me. Not really worth it. That was a good battle. I enjoyed that one. But some people have communities ready for them, and I think, although it is possible, I think I haven't told my friends. I've told my family a bit, and I've told some of my friends that I'm doing Twitch streaming, but I haven't invited anyone to come and watch it, even those who I think would be interested to, even those who I think would come along. I think if I did that, I would suddenly have an occasional audience of half a dozen people, and even that would be enough to help jumpstart these things. Hey, Rene Descartes has joined me. Expert charge defense, that seems cool. I don't know, basically. I don't know what is the path to success. I don't feel very much on it. But I also can't think of anything else that I should be doing differently.
As you order.
So my eventual conclusion really is, who knows? Sometimes I get in the habit of being like, oh, I don't want to stream because actually my camera's not very high quality, or because my sound recording isn't great, or because my internet connection is not perfect. And I think that's a real mistake. Like, I think the amount that changes the quality of what I'm putting out is pretty minor. I think that's fractional, and that might be enough to hit that phase transition and go from me being a perfectly unremarkable, yeah, go for it. This feels like a very one-sided conversation, and I really value hearing your side of it, because I think, like, when you came to my stream the other day, you clearly have more of an audience than I do. Or at least you did at that moment. Also, it's probably just good to hear other opinions than my own. Let's get some siege towers.
In the lady's name, prepare.
Yeah, I think we can experiment. And I sometimes look at what I'm putting out and I'm like, oh, I should actually be more experimental. That would be more in line with what I want to do. And I think about experimenting. I've had for a while like a way to be drawing on stream. You know, I'm all over the place, but I think that probably if we want to find any kind of really take-off success, it is by doing something new and people being like, have you seen that streamer who everything is upside down in their videos?
Now to battle for Britannia.
I think that's a really good idea, setting a schedule. I think I should probably do the same. I mean, just generally, like, I find myself grinding my gears all the time. I've been pretty good. Like, I've just got back to my house from being away over Christmas, and I've streamed a couple of days in a row. But I think I agree, setting out a schedule and putting it up online so people know, like, this is at least my intended schedule. It's a good idea. I really, things like that I don't want to do, because it will be admitting that that I have a problem, but I have a problem. I can admit that freely, I just can't do anything about it. Yeah. I want to hear the end of what you say. I could go off on another thought piece on laziness, and might do, if you have the energy to hear it, or if I have the energy to say it, but I want to hear the rest of what you wanted to say first.
Draw your weapons! Show no fear!
Got that nice chaos corruption. Got. Could you guys leave? Like, why are you here? Why is there just magically a huge chaos army that aren't even in the diplomacy screen, just hanging out here?
Welcome to fair Britonia. Valiant. Welcome, friends. Let's hope we can come to an impossible. Agreed.
Okay, so you'll accept that. Yes. Yeah, no, I think I understand what you meant. I actually want to talk about, is laziness real? But that's a whole other subject, so... I mean, this is true of so many things. Like, it's really natural to look for excuses not to do things, because it's a big weight on you to have to do things. And it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of feeling like you don't want to do things, and therefore you don't do things, and you feel heavy and lazy and less worth, and so you're less inclined to do stuff. Like, this is this is one of those things that a lot of people go through, and a lot of people go through it independently, and there's not really a good fix for that. But yeah, fair enough. Let me know when you're back in, and yeah, I'd love to talk about laziness. Sounds weird. I'd love to talk about laziness, but I would.
For the lady!
You may or may not already have gone, but I'm enjoying... This is helping me have these discussions. So, thanks for that, basically.
Now, fight!
Why are you here? Please go away. Oh, these guys could definitely destroy my entire nation.
Have heart! The lady
Should I actually
guides us.
just attack them? I think maybe I should. I think it may not be worth hanging around. I have this issue of... I have missile superiority, and with the trebuchet I can destroy their towers. I just realised, it seems kind of unfair that you, though this is a two-sided conversation, it doesn't get seen, so I'm going to put a chat box on the stream as well. How do I make you work? I don't know if that works, but let's see if it comes up.
In the lady's name, prepare!
That's a good wall structure for me. This is beautiful, this, I don't think, yeah, it's impassable. But this dune going over the city walls. So, of course, we can't see what the range is. That's useful.
Crush 'em all!
I have no idea what its range is.
Field trebuchet!
It's a nice big target. Okay, there we go. No, we're safe. Let's, because why not? Let's play the game of. Is it here? Okay, that was pretty low. Oh, is that going to count? Is that going to count? I think that will have counted. So I think the accuracy was perfect. There just is some natural spread. This is surprisingly fascinating. This is not a bad game in its own. I very rarely use this feature. It was added in, I think, Fall of the Samurai, and it's just one of those things, but... How are we doing on the actual damage to this tower? Pretty well. Will it keep? No, it's lost it. Let's see if I can get a good hit on the people on the wall. I don't think you can knock people off a wall, but the goal here is to knock that single character off. Well, I've made them unhappy about it. I can maybe hit... Yeah, I could probably hit these guys if they weren't about to move. No, it's a solid hit. Given that I have this option of attacking from the side, it's not too important to conserve ammo. And actually, very minorly, it's probably worthwhile to take out more archers, because I forget the equation. Hey, look, there it goes. Can you use half your ammo up? But that's fine.
Peasant bowman! Fire!
You guys can walk,
We go!
at least for now. And you can come too. Both of you guys actually. Because you have auras. Should I actually be attacking the... No, I think it's going to be fine. I don't think I need to attack the gate. I think I'm actually happier attacking this. Just kill some more of those bowmen. Perfect. They will get the thing where they can summon Anubisaths, whatever they're called. Which might be a problem. You guys could actually all be on a loose formation, couldn't you? Is that not an option anymore? So let's spread you out a bit, given that you're almost at the wall. Oh, good hit on those poor people.
Tis an honor. At once.
Oh, it was fantastically large.
Arrows ready.
So, I was about to say, even if I'm not that accurate, it's worth firing from here, but I'm pretty accurate. Britonia have really good low cost, like perfectly good range, perfectly good accuracy, completely weak in a melee battle, but do exactly the job that they should do, archers. So actually what's happened there is I've killed them so effectively that I'm no longer in range of them. Actually don't want them firing. Hey! We destroyed the second tower. God, bad day to be a skeleton. This guy's just got an arrow in his collarbone. I think that can happen generally, but... Whoa! Very bad day to be a skeleton. With your last few shots, if you can, go for them. And then let's take these guys out. How? You did alright on your last few shots. Oh, that first volley which just gets a third of them. There is a point in this game where the whole unit seems to be firing at the wrong bit of the other unit. I think often, hire me Creative Assembly, I think often about how you could redo this AI to be actually single unit thought pattern. Because basically right now how it works, again speaking from a place of semi-comprehension, is that the unit thinks as a whole. Let's pull up closer. It's also, given that there's nothing to fire at you, there's no reason for you guys not to be over here. You can walk on over. You guys can run because why not? There we go. That's got them.
We fight for Britonia!
Should just crumble now. Oof. So I'd probably like to keep a little bit of ammo so that I can actually fire from up on the walls.
Stop! Oi! Halt! Oi! Britonia!
I think dismounting has stopped being a thing. Yeah. I want you to stop, and you can keep going.
Peasant bowman! Squires!
So you are by far my best troops here. Then
Aye! Ready for orders! Bowman!
I don't really have a second best, but may as well be you guys, and then you guys are the worst of them. Oops, I accidentally used all the ammunition. Well, let's go capture that tower if we can. I don't think it will fire back into the fort. It should, but I don't think it does. These are a nice feature. Are they actually doing a thing?
Repulse the Lyonnaise!
Also, you guys can come be over here. And do I want you to move? I don't think so. No, I do actually, because it would suck if the enemy summoned their special boys right on top of them.
Squires!
So our ladder's going up.
Peasant bowman!
Now, one lovely thing is that
Ready! Climb in! Clear out!
so these guys can't get up on the walls, which makes sense.
Shields! High!
Oh wait, you guys can get up on here.
Britonia! By the lady! Hold steady!
Wait, can you capture both at once? Yeah.
Once! Bowman! Squires!
I am prepared!
Just make sure that
I am your man!
they're getting the aura.
For the king! Bretonians, attack! Armed and ready! Peasant bowman! Target and fire! Take an aim!
So I probably want to get the gate open.
Peasant bowman!
I guess. Oh, I guess I could get this gate open.
Quick, march!
Yeah, let's do that.
Orders! Armed and ready!
Let's also try on this gate.
Peasant bowman! Serve and obey!
I want to turn your fire wheel on. I want you up here with your fire wheel on.
Target and fire!
Now you have. No, I want you. You're anti-large, so why are you on the wall? You're armored and shielded.
Orders, my lord!
I think I have armor piercing for the whole army,
Shields, high!
so that's good news.
Bowman!
I don't think you are large.
Ready to loose!
Hey, that gate's mine. So let's start bringing round. I'm going to bring you around because you're probably the superior fighter. Be nice to take that.
For the lady!
Yeah, I don't think these fire inwards.
We serve!
It's never really been clear to me exactly how ammunition works. Along with like 18 other things in this game. Do I truly have a set number of arrows for the whole unit? Do I have a set number of arrows per person in the unit? When someone dies, effectively, is the unit losing ammunition? I mean, it really comes down to that question, actually. They are
Bowman!
effectively one and the same question.
Honor the lady!
In which way does the number of arrows go? Aha.
Doing your bidding!
Where you're standing right now, I might regret this, but let's truly just get these guys down here.
Quick now!
Don't attack me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just let me fire at you. It'll be fine. What I'm probably actually about to do is crossfire myself a lot. Also, like, there's times like this where you're like, you guys could fire? If only we had an enemy standing right in front of us. There we go. Here comes my boy. Just charging on in there. Probably could have used that, but
My lord!
am I capturing the gate? Not particularly fast.
Spearman at arms!
Repulse the Lyonnais!
Peasant bowman!
Okay, that was probably these guys are now out of ammunition. But while this battle's going on,
Once!
yeah, you can just capture this. As for you, I'm going to prioritize.
Quick now! Bretonia needs me! What order?
There we go. General's crumbling. That will hopefully make this guy crumble.
Repulse the Lyonnais!
Bows! Aye!
Hey, enemy lord is dead. And my army can go through the gate.
Aye! Serve and obey!
My instinct is actually just to basically charge these guys.
Bowman!
Their leaders may be French, but if they have any accent, it's definitely rough English.
Repulse the Lyonnese! In Bretonia's name!
So this isn't even slightly making them think about moving. I don't know, now they're thinking about it.
As ordered! Loyal and true! Bretonia! Repulse the Lyonnese!
So, I want you to explode about now.
Fury!
Hey, and look, they're already crumbling. Is that done? Done. So, that went well. It probably took longer than it needed to. But the Rakaths are gone.
Justice is swift and... Take
Getting
what
that
you can.
loot, occupy that city.
Unmatched.
She's become a warrior. Weapon strength, melee attack. 90% of battles, wow. And we slayed the Spired! Is it Nagash in Slay the Spire? Is that the name of the evil person? Rakath Dynasty is destroyed. Encountered the Dune Kingdoms. Got a defensive alliance. Everything's going well.
Honor before glory. Welcome to fair Britain.
No one wants to join my confederation though. No one particularly would think about trading with me. Dune Kingdoms don't yet hate me, but we're not necessarily friends. Who are you? Tomb King Rebels. And I'm guessing... Oh, Sudenburg is completely gone. I'm guessing that it's the Skaven who've wiped everyone out. So I'm not at war with too many people. If you attack sooner rather than later, you'll win, otherwise you'll lose. Hey, you're even sieging that. So my allies are doing pretty well.
Your words.
We've leveled up. I can get the Fleur de Lis banner. Which means that everyone has... Yep, that's significantly stronger in my range. My range is large. And we also have... more options for these things. Just, you know, keep on pushing up my melee defense. Let's push up my weapon strength. At the high end, it's a lot.
I have seen your heart.
I'm quite wealthy. Definitely like that. And
Serve the lady.
I've been keeping you here, but actually I had a goal for you, which was to go into the mountains.
You honor me.
I have no idea where the border is. The border is there? I'm sure we'll find Skaven in all of them. Try my side, Fivus. Then after that, I might send you. Oh yeah, look, all these things are happening. Might send you over into the meet the elves, who you'd think would like me. I think they should like me. Okay, so they lost. Well, they gave up on the siege? Killing it. Oh, you used up almost all of your army doing it, though. That's good. I'll just keep things in a status quo. And it might just mean that they want to confederate.
Oh, they were suffering attrition. That's nice.
You guys could just leave. I think they're leaving. I just don't know why they're here. I don't plan on recruiting any. Yeah. Don't respect them peasants. Guys, respect the peasants. Hey, we've got another tap room, and we've got a place where I can get more trebuchets. That's good.
Your coming was foretold. The lady wills it. My lady calls.
I have completed the magic mission. So there's a small Tomb King army and then reinforcements expected. Cool.
We have met before. It shall come to pass. I see my path.
So I think it's probably soon time to actually declare war against the Skaven, but I don't know, they're strong. I don't want to fight strong boys. I'm willing to admit that I have more knights in this army than...
Reprends de Leon!
I have knights in this army for no reason more than it's cool to have knights. I don't think this is sufficiently worth it to keep, so let's
Shall we?
recruit another one as soon as possible and get rid of one of these knight errants. Unless... yeah, let's get rid of that.
For Britonia,
And
for the lady!
get another trebuchet.
Your behest?
Let's do the normal check on if anyone will make a treaty with me.
Friends, let's hope
Nope.
we can. Valiant, the lady grants you safe.
You might give me a military alliance. No. Everyone else hates me. So it's interesting to me that it's called Land of the Dervishes. That is not very representative of, well, I think not. I don't know. A lot of my world history picture comes from Europa Universalis, and I don't know how biased or full a picture that's likely to be giving me. Khemri, the Dune Kingdoms, Khemri, the Pirates, and the Dune Kingdoms and Clan Eshin. This is good. Basically everyone who is not an ally of mine is attacking other people who are not allies of mine, so... Please leave. Okay,
In the lady's name. She speaks, I listen.
It would be nice.
The sun pours down on us.
Sun pours down.
I await.
I'm really tempted to attack.
Ah, yes.
I can't even attack them. Yeah. Let's see if I can see it from here. I'm allowed to change stance. Yeah.
Time to march with purpose. What is your behest?
Oh, what I could do is...
The heat
no.
is cruel. My steps are guided.
Sun pours down like honey.
Devotee of the lady.
That's not a great idea. They're going to cost me a lot. This is not a very reliable, not a very sustainable army format, but are you going to attack my allies? You are. No, you're going to go stand next to them. Total War AI loves standing next to people. Cedric Le Troubadour. They have been waiting to leave this siege. Why would they not just fight this siege? I hope no one is offended by this stupid accent.
Such relentless heat.
So the question is, do I want to attack the Skaven? I've got the right army for it. I think I do.
At once. Prophetess.
I can even bring you down just to get some experience.
I have seen your heart.
Wah! Shocking. Okay, you've got
Pray for cooler climes.
a force. Oh, and it's got gold. Oh, you have an army here as well as. Yeah, come help me and my allies.
Just so.
Ooh, it's pretty close. These are pretty good. They don't have walls. This will be interesting. Let's fight it.
May the lady guide your blade.
And then that might be me done for the day.
I've got to go to Sweden tomorrow for a few days, which that should be lovely. Looking forward to it.
But you know, you got to go to a place, and it's effort. Oh, poor me and my poor life. I have to go to places. So my allies are going to come from there. I actually don't want to be too tightly packed on account of all these warp grinders and things like that. I don't know. I think I'm going to set up down here. Yeah, I am. And my allies can come around this side. So, as always, I want the best ones in the middle. And then I want my spear wall, my turn of the spear wall,
Orders, my lord. Swears.
my backup. So let's see, you can be team 1.
Knightly valor.
There is a significant, your team 2,
Bows drawn.
2, your team 3, trebuchets are close enough to each other. Do I do any magic? I don't think I do any magic. The enemy might. 19 is relatively low. So I've got my reinforcements coming in. I probably want to send my cavalry out into the world. Oh, I kind of forgot that my reinforcements are entirely archers. And I do magic. Yeah, I remember this. I know what's going on. So they seem to be quite taken. That's a terrible place to bring them up. With the idea of chasing these guys down, which is fine by me. Okay. Well, fine. Oh. They're not bringing anything particularly strong, so let's just charge straight into it. None of these are things that want to be going up against cavalry. So I'm quite thankful that they've brought them up against all this cavalry. Let's use you to get around the back of them. It'd be better to not be attacking the spears too much. Let's get her into it. It's one of these guys. Let's go for like that. Okay. This is not going to be too effective. So let's turn him around. Let's actually just literally run him out of there. They're running, so no real need to chase too much. Just got them busy. these kind of guys are a bit of a problem. They'll be doing quite a lot of damage that way.
Paladin of Bretonia! Attack! Number 9! At once! Trample them!
Trample them. Whoa, that kind of thing.
Withdraw!
That kind of thing is less than ideal.
Armed and ready!
So given that some of my troops are withdrawing, let's stop that, which seems insanely strong. Let's keep getting rid of these guys. Let's see. Would be good to have
For Bretonia!
less of that. Less of these kind of guys. Morlock probably pretty strong. Can you do another good one of these? Yeah, you can do it here.
With haste! Shoot them! Withdraw! Twisted knives! Awaiting order! Smite them!
It is this flank that is really struggling, and you're doing nothing. So, let's get you over there.
Squares! For the Grail!
Priestess of the Lady!
You're probably not very strong. You're a spellcaster, so I should be able to take it.
Bowman! Stick after! Come at him!
Have at him! Take him good! Ride them down!
It's just a lot going on in this battle. I don't want to lose too many more people over here, given that here is like... it's kind of the center of my force. I trust my cavalry to just run away if they get too badly hurt, which I don't trust so much of other parts of my forces. You guys are doing fine? This is interesting. They're not...
Prepared!
Annihilate!
How's Morlock doing?
God help us!
Can you bless someone? Great. Why don't you go kill Morlock?
Direct my blade! In Bretonia's name!
Yes, wait, can we see the chat? Is the chat coming up on screen? I'm not sure. I tried to make it so that the chat would actually appear in the top right corner. But, as I've already covered, I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, don't... Everyone's running just because they're being attacked by terrifying rats. You fools! Obviously this is all fine. I can't believe you'd be such carrots.
We fight for Bretonia! God help us!
You make these guys strong. Like, I think I am going to win, but it's really... they're just all over the place, them rats.
Hero of Bretonia! Orders? Clear out!
Let's hit these guys with one of these, if I can. they're kind of running out of ammo now, which is good. I've got some pretty full units, and they are wiping some of them out entirely. I do have a lot of different kinds of arrows. And that can only be a good thing. You guys have no need to be over there. Please stop with the, like, Gatling guns. Victory is apparently within our grasp. That's good. Feels like that.
Men of Bretonia! Peasant bowmen! Run! To war! Orders? Get the order!
I love the explosion. Okay, the biggest thorn in my side right now is these units, so let's prioritize them. There's still plenty of ammo in the trebuchets. Where are the trebuchets? They're here. Oh no, don't die, don't die, don't die. I'd really appreciate you not dying. I understand why you're thinking about it. You do love to die. Okay, they're broken. Good. Who are you? Who's valid? Some peasant bowmen. Hey! We shattered their commander. That was a lot. I think I'm gonna stop in a sec. But I was gonna say a little thing about laziness. Because it's something I've been thinking about a lot recently. Because for a long time, I thought I was very lazy, and whilst I don't think that's completely untrue of me, I want to talk about kind of what laziness is. I was really struck recently. It's a siege battle, so everyone dies anyway. Coming across a Twitter account by someone called ADHD Alien, and she draws little comics of her experience, which with ADHD, and there's this mantra which comes up all the time that she talks about feeling about herself, where she just says, I just thought I was lazy. I thought I was just so lazy. Where she would beat herself up about university work, or beat herself up about not going to parties and relationships and things like that. And continuously this mantra at the back of it, the root cause of it was laziness. And there's a lot of different directions I can go talking about this, but one way that I think is good to think about it is asking the question of why ever would a creature choose to be in a state which was bad for them. And lazy. Oh no! I lost one of my new I lost my new trebuchet. I didn't. I lost the old, really good trebuchet. That was a tough battle. I also lost the foot squires. Lost a lot of my best units, basically. Finally, I have completed that first thing. Gained by executing captives. Did I? I didn't shoot. I didn't mean to execute captives. Maybe that was the only option with Skaven. Interesting. Issue a commandment. That's pretty easy to do. So why should people do things that are not in their best interests? Why should they? Because being lazy in the moment is certainly not good for you. You're not like, oh, so nice to be lazy. And although the restfulness is nice, enjoyable, if you believe, as I do, that people basically make rational decisions the within the realm of possible decisions that are apparent to them and open to them, why should we ever choose to hurt ourselves with laziness? And thinking about that, I changed my opinion slowly to being that laziness is a really bad group title for many, many things. But often, although laziness is a thing that comes from the individual, it's something that we experience, that we do, it is of the situation you're in. Like when I am at my most lazy, it actually often is not dependent on something about me. Like it's not like I'm lazy in the winter, or I'm lazy when I'm very stressed, or something like that. I'm mostly lazy when I don't feel like I have a task to apply myself to that I understand and can make sense of. And that's really bad because sometimes I have a task that I need to apply myself to, but I don't understand it, I can't make sense of it, and so I act lazily. And so it's not anyone else's fault when we're lazy, but it's also not really our fault. It's not really coming from us. I hope I don't just sound like an apologist for my own laziness, which to some degree I am. But for many people, laziness is a tool they use to beat themselves over the head. It's a thing that they feel crappy and worthless about, and they can't do very much about because it's not actually something that they have any control of. It's the circumstances around them. So finding ways to, like you said earlier, having a schedule helps keep yourself from laziness. In a way, what you're doing there is you're denying the occurrence of laziness. You're not changing anything about yourself. You're changing something about your circumstance. Although you've made the schedule is quickly a solid thing outside of you. And I feel like I'm not being... This is kind of my first time trying out saying this through. And most things I have to say 4 or 5 times before they become cogent and really representative of what I believe. But I see people struggling under their own assumption of laziness more than they're struggling under the laziness themselves. They're struggling under this narrative of their laziness. And that is crippling and it's stultifying. And it's this easy narrative of failure. Every time you fail, it's because you're lazy. And you failing because you're lazy makes you more despondent and more likely to become despondent. And being despondent feels a lot like laziness because you're deciding not to do things. You're like, oh, I can't really face going on Twitch today, especially because I have to show myself to people, and I'm, excuse my language, a massive piece of shit. The amount of time I'm like, oh, I'm the absolute worst. So I want to think about and maybe encourage a rephrasing of laziness to be not a thing that is due to or caused by or a characteristic of a person, but more of their surroundings and of their circumstance. And no one's going to solve it quicker or better than you, unless, I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes you're really lucky, but for people who no longer live, as most young people do, with family or old friends, chances are you've got to solve it yourself. But it's not the fault of the lazy person, or the fault of anyone around the lazy person. It's a systemic thing, something that occurs just like many systemic effects, and some things make it more likely to happen and more harmful, and some things less likely to happen and less harmful. So that's my kind of was about to say my 2 cents, but I don't feel like it's quite that. That's my 1 cent. Let's pick one of these, and then let's stop for the day. Banish the Scourge, Courageous, Rebuild the Ruins. These are all pretty good. That is just quite strong. I'm going to go with that for now. You've also leveled up. You can have the Lady's Mantle, missile resistance. You don't seem to be suffering from missiles too much. You're going to keep putting your weapon strength up. You just survived, which is good.
Ah, yes.
I have an empty slot here. It's naturally a natural place for industry. Oh wait, this... I thought this was a resource. It's not. Pools of Despair has no resource. Do I want an industry province? Not sure. Do I want some stables? Let's have this as a recruitment province. Okay.
As you order.
If you tuned in, hope you enjoyed it. I think I'll continue this campaign. I'm enjoying it. I'd like to bring back the dwarves. I'd like to win this battle. I'd like to maybe bring back the men down here. You know, really wipe out the indigenous population of this place and replace it with European fundamentalists. Great. Let's just quickly see if anyone will join. They'll join my confederation! Oh, that's good news. Will you join my confederation? No, but you might give me a military alliance. No, you won't. They'll join my confederation, and now I'm losing a huge amount of money because they tend to have tons of armies. You're level 1. You're level 4. You're level 1. So this is the army I'll actually eventually keep.
Protector of the realm. My reputation precedes me.
You are stuck in move fast mode. Great. Oh, fair enough. But also, they have absolutely no reason to confederate with me. They are just completely safe on their little island. I just want their land. So now that we are solidly in huge debt, that we have no allies suddenly and many enemies, let's set one of these. Let's just go with the standard, make things okay. I'm going to leave it there. Can't save. Game saves during the end turn process. So I've got to end my turn. I have low funds. So let's put any good units into this army. In fact, let's swap out any bad ones.
If the lady wills it.
I did that completely wrong.
Glory awaits.
Let's swap everybody. Well, that's reassuring music.
It shall be so.
And
Honor before glory.
let's disband this army. How do I do that? Can I disband everyone? Yeah, I can disband them in one fell swoop. Still losing quite a lot of money, but less so.
And hero.
I do want these guys.
Lord of Bretonia.
Lashiek is fine, and some point in the end turn process it says it saves. So I think I actually have to let the end turn play out, otherwise I'll have the same thing as last time, where I confederated and then lost it. Maybe I should... I should probably get rid of that army as well.
Armored in faith.
No, I'm gonna play it out with these guys.
Guardian of Bretonia.
I have no idea if those Chaos guys left my land yet, or if they're... Oh, don't come over here and fight me. Don't do it. Oh, even the save button is gone. Let's fight this battle. It should be quick, because it's an ambush from a powerful Skaven army, and I expect to just die. What do you reckon? What's the chance I can pull this out? I have only infantry. What was the AI doing? I guess though if they are destroyed, I save a lot of money. Everything seems fine. Really? Okay, they're over there. Turn and face them.
We serve the king.
Actually, no, you know what? Run into the woods. Oh, the camera's really... There we go. That's better.
What orders? Fight it.
I have quite a lot of troops. Maybe I can make this? They're much faster than me.
We serve the king. For the king. Infantry. For the king. For the Grail. Lord.
There's this way in which
Men at arms.
you guys going back there is not actually going to do anything at this point.
Shift it. Clear out. Kill them all. Ready for battle. Clear out. Lord of Bretonia. Men at arms. What orders? Protector of the realm. For the lady.
So I think my priority with these guys is just to get them round behind.
Men at arms. Quick now.
You're my flank defense.
Men of Bretonia. Get to the enemy. Bretonia.
And with these guys, disruptive slingers. Is this the whole army? Maybe I'll make it.
Spearmen at arms. Righteous fury.
I have no idea what the enemy's plan was here. Like, as an ambush battle, it feels like it should have been so possible to just
We are
surround and destroy me.
men at arms.
So now that I've chased these guys off, they're actually fine to leave for a bit.
Spearmen at arms.
Some of my units not too happy. I think the ambush doesn't help with people's morale. Who are you? You have scaling damage. What does that mean? Weeping Blade, which devours armor. Stalk and dodge. Great! Hey guys, let's fight this guy.
For the lady. Men of Bretonia.
That's actually great. One unit is there taking up 2,
Fighters.
which is exactly what I want. Just making maximal use of these guys. My unit was the first to withdraw. That's less good.
For the lady.
Let's just keep on. So the AI knows when you've changed who you're attacking and will immediately change like who's left firing and who isn't. Why aren't more of you guys wavering? It's not going to be a horrible defeat, but I think it probably will be a defeat.
Withdraw! Have at 'em!
Actually,
Men at arms!
you go in there,
We are ready!
you get round behind them,
Men at arms!
you come back and try and make sense of this. These guys are so far away now that I'm fine to leave them. More of them are running.
Honor the lady! Withdraw!
Why won't you leave? There we go.
Spearmen at arms! Have at 'em! What orders? To Bretonian!
Let's try and do this instead.
Get out of here!
See if we can't break them.
God help us! Attack!
Oh, good. He's turned around to come over here, which will just waste his time.
Fires! Moving apace!
Having charged into them, turn around and charge into them instead. Okay.
We serve our liege! Chieftain! Tristan!
Just keep everyone coming back in.
Ready!
Those are probably the swordsmen that ran away earlier.
Lord of Bretonia!
I'm fighting spears with a horse.
We are ready!
Tips for Total War: don't fight spears with a horse.
Orders! Attack!
You've rallied. This battle is kind of won.
Men of Bretonia! For the lady! Honor before glory!
Deathmaster Snitch has turned up.
God help us!
Okay,
Spearmen at arms!
some of my warriors are running away, but others of them are now surplus to requirements in the place they're in.
Men at arms! Righteous fury! Take the ground!
Oh, you idiot! That's the end of it. I mean, you're not an idiot. You were ambushed by a bunch of rats, and after a while you decided like, oh, this isn't worth it.
Come at 'em! Men at arms!
With a game like this where you are the person who has made the conditions of any battle you're in, but also there's so much chance even in that, it's really hard to tell if you're doing a good job or not. Like,
Men at arms!
did I make huge mistakes in this battle? Did I do about as well as I could? Is there any way that I could have like
For the lion!
wrestled victory, in that phrase that I love to say, wrestled victory from the jaws of defeat?
Spearmen at arms! Shift it! God help us!
Get out of here! Okay, my warriors are rallying. Everyone thought about it and they were like, actually no, it's fine.
Hastily! Spearmen at arms!
You have actually made them so terrified that they will never come back, which is great.
The Grail
I reckon we could take these guys. Probably be best that no one gets hit by slingers.
Ready for orders! Ready for orders! Run! Orders, my lord! Men at arms!
I think it's the Skaven music, but it sounds very much like Bad North, kind of you. Like something terrible is happening, which indeed
Lancing
it is.
down!
Don't kill him, don't kill him, don't kill him. Run, run, run. It's fine. Don't even worry about him. He's probably not that important for the battle. My warriors are rallying as he dies. Who rallies? Did he die? No, he survived with 12 health. I can't really do anything with him at this point, because he will die. They have way more ammo than I'd like left. I wonder if I can win that. So the fact that I've just told them to chase them might make this magic AI decide... Oh no, they ran away. It's exactly the kind of moment that the magic AI decides, let's move the entire... No, everyone's gone. Well, who are you? Oh great, yeah, you're still here. Looking at this, I feel like I should have won that battle. It was just how broken my initial force was. And this guy seems like someone not to mess with. Deathmaster Snick. But I maybe could have... Oh, I'm off screen. Maybe could have allocated some specific unit to just keep him busy for long enough to turn the tide on the rest of them. Thanks though, game, for telling me it was Valiant. Did I die? Yes. In another world where that army hadn't inexplicably been on a force march. No, because if it hadn't been on force march, it wouldn't have had any stamina, or whatever we call it, at all. But yeah, in another world where the enemy... where that hadn't happened, I could have taken the settlement and easily killed that army. Which is fine. We don't live in the perfect world that we can see. But I got a tavern on my barracks. I get 500 gold for recruiting a thing. I'm maybe bankrupt. So that's a bit of an issue. Oh, I'm suffering attrition from being bankrupt. Okay. Let's turn tax on everywhere, which I probably should have thought of doing before. Give me that tax. Well, that made a big difference. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining in. And, yeah, Zerfuel, I think you might have been away when I said this, but I like having these kind of conversations, and they're kind of are really helped by having someone to have them with, even if they're really one-sided on a stream. So, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. See you when you see me, I suppose.